You are listening to Offensive Lines with Marlon and Boyd. Small stakes NFL gambling for the average fan.
Welcome to the inaugural Week 2 recap of Offensive Lines. I'm Marlon.
I'm Boyd.
And let me just start by explaining what we're doing here. What we'd like to do is give you a more easily listened to pick show. On Tuesday nights, we find that we spend about 20 minutes talking about what's already in the past. That's what we're doing in this podcast.
Yes.
It's lamentations and victory dances.
This week, anyway.
Yeah,
good time to start.
It's a victory shuffle, anyway.
Wow, and that fucking New Orleans game. I'm never taking New Orleans on the road ever again. They stink on grass, on the road. They fucking stink.
You brought that up late in the podcast last week, and it did send a cold shiver of death down my spine. But undervaluing Tampa, I think, a little.
No, we're not. They're awful. New Orleans isn't that good. They're not that good.
Well,
won at home by a fucking last second pick in the end zone on fourth down and should have lost this game. I don't know. I shut it off. I was watched up until the 2-minute warning.
Well, they took it off Sunday Ticket because of the lightning delay.
Well, it was back on.
No. I went to it late in the game.
I watched it, Marlon. I watched it on Sunday Ticket, yes.
Because we went to it and it just said this channel will be available shortly.
No, I had it, and it was on. I watched almost the whole fourth quarter until the 2-minute warning, and Tampa was moving the ball inside New Orleans territory. I think New Orleans had used all their timeouts, and I'm like, this is fuck. We're not going to cover anyway. And I was just hoping New Orleans would lose, because once you fuck us, I want you to lose.
Oh yeah, yeah. Welcome to New England. But let's summarize here first, just so people know what we're talking about. All right, we lost. We had New Orleans to win and cover against Tampa Bay. From what you've just heard, it clearly didn't go our way.
-3.5.
We had a parlay bet with Dallas plus 2.5. +3. And Atlanta -7.
So Atlanta -7 was voided because that was a push. They won by 7. Fuck. And then so we won the Dallas half of that. So the $10 paid us $18.70. So it basically became a single
because
bet.
The push was voided. If people aren't gambling as much as we are, the push voided one half of the ticket. So we basically got a point spread bet on Dallas.
Yes.
And tonight, in what turned out to be a nail biter because of Marv Lewis, but we had Cincy laying 7, which is a big spread for me to lay. I hate laying 7.
Well,
we managed to catch it.
Well, especially when the announcers start talking with 20 seconds left in Pittsburgh at the 25. Oh, they could kick a field goal here and then try an onside kick, and I'm like, no! Shut up.
At that point, I would have taken the push. I mean, okay, we already seem to have started with New Orleans, Tampa Bay, so let's go. New Orleans looked dreadful.
Which they always do on grass.
They had 1st and goal on the 1. 0 points. And I agree, go for it on 4th down in that situation, but what you don't do is run an off tackle with your shitty so-called power backs, Ingram and Thomas. You don't run that play 3 times out of your 4 to the same side.
That's what drives me nuts. Where is play action pass? They have the best tight end in football right now with Gronkowski out.
Yeah, easily.
With Graham. How is he not involved? Does anybody remember when Bavaro and Clark from Varro from the Giants and Clark from the Niners, or any of the good tight ends would be in a blocking position. And that's part where we should get into at some point too, is that the tight ends can't run that play anymore because they know they're not blockers. Like Gronkowski's a receiving tight end. He doesn't block. So if he gets down to block,
so is Graham.
Yeah, I know, but if they get, that's what I'm saying. They can't use that play because if they get down to block, they're just going to let them. They're going to try and get out into a fake play where they kind of pretend to block and then roll out into an open space. Well, you can't do that anymore because they know that you're not going to stay in and block on a running play.
That's where Gonzalez and Gates were better. They weren't great blockers, but they weren't a liability blocking. They still had to at least learn some blocking skills.
Yes, but I'm saying the defense on the other side is not respecting them as a blocker, so they'll just back off and let them come out into their pattern and they're covered. Either that or they've lost all imagination at the goal line.
Well, I think they have too. And by the way, I think Pierre Thomas is a hell of a football player, but he's not the guy you want to count on for 1 yard running into a line.
Well, I don't know why, unless your line is that dominant. And you know what? I don't care what kind of line you have. If you're playing in the NFL, you should be able to get a fucking yard.
Oh, I agree with it too.
If you get down to if it's first and goal and you get to the one on third down and then fourth down you go for it and you only have one shot, okay. The defense can come up big for one play. 3 times should never happen.
Never happen.
Never. There should be some kind of misdirection, something. But it seems, and this goes back to my quarterback theory that I came up with last year, that the coaches are trying to keep the quarterbacks happy and the stats up. That they look at Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh doesn't have a great running game, but they all throw that fucking corner fade all the time when they get down to the 1 or the 2. Oh, let's try that corner fade. Nobody runs the ball at the goal line.
It's a 20% play, and I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt.
Well, fucking
I've never liked, and Pittsburgh did score a touchdown on the corner fade.
Yeah, so did fucking Houston yesterday.
Oh, we're going to get to that. But beyond that, Breeze was terrible. I don't know if he was drunk. I don't know what it was. His picks were crushing. He lost the interest in throwing small, short swing-out passes that moved forward. I have no idea what was going on in the minds of the Saints. And,
They are my quarterback theory incarnate. That is what happens now. It's, I'm the greatest. I can make the throws I have to make. They talked about Brett Favre being a gunslinger. He was the only one at the time that played like that. Now all these fucking quarterbacks think they have to put up 400 yards to be in the conversation. It's
so Breeze is playing for Marino's record, or at least was until.
No, but he's playing for the glory.
Yeah, no, I see your point.
Like, the Titans should have won the game yesterday.
We'll get to it.
No, but I'm just using that as an example. And Jake Locker would be looked at as, and it was nothing he did that cost him the game, but nobody's going to talk about him being responsible for the win. Where most of these quarterbacks that have had some success, they think it's them. They think it's just them that's responsible for the success. So they have to keep putting up the numbers to stay in the conversation. Like, Rodgers is probably the best pocket passer in the game right now.
And he's got legs.
Better than Brady. He's the best quarterback.
Well, he's the best player in the NFL, in my opinion. Any position.
Well, Calvin Johnson's pretty good.
Doesn't have to think quite as hard as a quarterback.
No, but there we go again. We buy into the same bullshit that the quarterbacks think.
Yeah, but you don't see Aaron Rodgers. I still get the feeling that he wants a win more than anything, and that's what makes him special. Yeah.
Well, let's see what happens when something goes wrong. He's throwing for 300 yards and they're losing, not 450 and they're winning. The quarterback, it's a quarterback-driven league. If you want to make it, this is still about cash. If you want to make the cash, people have to be talking about you. Like they're already talking about RG3 putting in Cousins. There's calls for that.
I heard that today, and I'm just thinking.
Now,
fuck off. I mean, no, the problem is the skins suck. As you eloquently pointed out to me last week. That's the problem. RG3 is not necessarily the problem here.
No, but I could put up 350 yards in the last half of when you're down 38-7. Like,
oh, no, I'm not saying he's good. I'm not saying he's great, but seriously, Cousins?
And
he's a second-year quarterback, for God's sake.
Coming off major knee surgery.
When we grew up, he and Aaron Rodgers, for example, was holding a clipboard in his second year. And his third year. There's a lot to be said for getting your brain ready to play before you are the everyday starter. And let's go no further than Cam Newton for another example of that.
But the thing is that we puff these guys up so far when they have some nominal success at a young age that they're the entitled position. They've taken over. We used to have the whining fucking wide receivers. Is there one in the league anymore outside of Mike Wallace?
So you're saying the quarterbacks are the new divas? I don't mind the theory.
They're the ones that think the game revolves around us. Everybody tells us the game revolves around us. And if the game doesn't revolve around us, oh, fuck, you got a problem. Like, look at Freeman in Tampa, whining like a little bitch. He's going to be asking for a trade. These guys, I don't get along with the head coach. It started back with Elway when there was only one. It was him and fucking Reeves. But the quarterback coach thing now is they're the superstar on the team that you have to fucking stroke their dick to keep them happy.
Yeah, reach arounds are required.
Who criticizes quarterbacks in this league as a coach? Nobody. Coaches
you're right on the diva thing too, because part of the reason that no one criticizes the quarterback is their egos are so fragile. Now, if your ego is so fragile, should you be the absolute leader of the team under any circumstances?
Well, that's always been my thought, is what makes the quarterback the lead? What if he isn't the leader of the team? But if he doesn't have the personality for that, like I don't think Flacco has that personality. When he comes out and says, "Oh, I could hardly understand anything Ray Lewis was saying," doesn't matter. I don't like Ray Lewis. It's been well established on this podcast. I'm not a Ray Lewis fan.
And he, by the way, stinks in the booth. He's terrible. For whatever reason, I woke up at like 7 a.m. Sunday. So I watched that pregame show.
I can't watch pregame shows anymore.
Oh, I haven't watched a pregame show in 2 years. But
well, since the internet gave me everything I needed.
I couldn't sleep. So I did watch it. He's terrible. I'm not certain he speaks English.
Well, he looks like the Incredible Shrinking Man.
Well, once you stop the cycles.
Allegedly.
But, no, he's not good. His points are confused. He gets very confused. He uses verbs as nouns. Hey, we've done that before, too. I mean, I'm not saying we're flawless, but we're also not being paid what he is.
No. But we get to swear, so that's a bonus.
Yeah. He talks about he had a few Archie Bunker words where, he was close, but it was completely the wrong word.
Oh, Jesus.
And you know, to hear Simmons and those people at ESPN, oh, he is gonna be awesome. He's so great in the booth. No, he's terrible. He's going the way of Bettis.
And yeah, Emmett Smith. No, but back to the leadership thing with quarterbacks. Flacco made that statement about couldn't understand what Ray Lewis was saying half the time in his pregame rants or whatever the hell he called them. But it worked for that team. They would have run through a wall, most of those guys, for Ray Lewis. And there's a charisma of a leader that it doesn't matter if you think he's an asshole outside of the locker room. If he can get people to perform and follow him on the field, you have something.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would never take that away from Lewis. We're not fans of him, either of us.
No, but he was one of the best leaders in football. I thought his antics were ridiculous. But for whatever reason, the guys inside that locker room who know him better than us would do anything for him.
Yeah.
Either they were scared of him or they just respected him that much that whatever he asked out of them, they got. He was basically the coach of that team, like the inspirational coach on that team. And you can see they're flat. How do you come, your home opener, unveil the banner, and you struggle to beat Cleveland? Like, it was a 6-0 game for Cleveland at the half, and you've got a $120 million quarterback. I want Aaron Rodgers type production. Now, you're not going to get that every week, but you should
get... of the leader quarterbacks, who do we have? We've got Brady and we've got Manning.
I would put Rodgers up there too, or very close.
No, they're a flame out.
Yeah, but so is Manning in the playoffs.
No, I'm not talking about even in that. It's Green Bay doesn't feel like a team. Peyton Manning came over to Denver, and suddenly a team that looked like it was going to be in purgatory for 5 years because of the Tebow thing.
Yeah, but if you put
all of a sudden is great.
No, but if you put they had talent. They had all that receiving talent there before Manning. They just didn't have a quarterback.
I mean, Rodgers, again, I think he's the best player. I'm not certain about whether he's that much of a leader. Remains to be seen.
Well,
he's on the fence. I'm not going to say he's not.
No, but I'm basing it on how they react after he scores a touchdown or they score a touchdown. There's none of that, like Cam Newton's all about me kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is more what I look at. And how the players react when Rodgers scores a touchdown, it's they're all celebrating together. Where Newton makes it about himself, he's got his own move, pulling the Superman thing, whatever it's called. And I think that's where you see the quarterbacks want to be a brand. Newton even said, before he even came into the NFL, he wanted to be an icon. Well, that's not who I want leading my football team.
No, Brady became an icon. Peyton became an icon based on performance.
It wasn't a preconceived notion coming in out of college. And then he had some success first year, but it's never grown past that. And that's what I'm scared of. And they finished 5 of 6 last year. But now they're 0-2 to start again. Now, on the other hand, Ron Rivera isn't going to make it out of September. Well, how do they keep losing these games? There was
another 4th and 1 to seal the game, and he showed that his testicles are the size of shriveled, diseased peanuts.
But Marlon, all the coaches are the same.
Oh, they are, and I want to get to that. So, I agree with you, and I like your whole concept. The quarterbacks are the new divas. We used to think the wideouts were the flakes and the look-at-me guys. And
it's the quarterbacks
it's
now.
Gone over to the quarterback. I like that theory.
No, they want to be responsible and get all the credit for every win. So they take chances they shouldn't take. That mentality.
There's part of that, too, and most of these guys will also, though they'll pay lip service that it's a team loss, they blame the team. If they win, they won. If they lose, everybody lost.
Well, what other position gets to yell at the players on the field?
Yeah.
What other position gets that leeway? That you can yell at a receiver, running back, offensive lineman, show them up.
Yeah, but I don't think.
TV.
Yeah, it depends how they use it. But let's move to happier news.
Yes.
All right. Even though they lost, and I wanted to take them on money line, we caught Dallas. We missed Atlanta on a bullshit backdoor cover. So, still profit making, but yeah, I'm not real proud of that.
No, but surprising profit making from my perspective, because I thought we took Dallas on the money line.
Oh, so did I.
And
I wasn't looking at our bets on the page, so yeah.
And I went and looked online and went, win. I'm like, win? What? Oh, okay. We did take the points. So it worked into our favor for once.
Well, yeah, and I just want to say, I mean, and that should have been a much bigger winner, because you were right about Atlanta. They just gave up a bullshit touchdown.
Yeah.
Which is part of what I hate about laying points, particularly this early in the season.
7, I hate laying, because you got to be up 17 late for it to be safe.
Yeah.
Because they all give up that touchdown, just let the clock run out. Which is what Cincinnati was doing when Pittsburgh had no timeouts. Let them rush down the field, eat the clock, keep them in bounds, blah, blah, blah.
Do you know who we owe money to this week? He probably doesn't really need it. Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis. Marv Lewis went into exactly what we talked about tonight. Cincinnati got a huge turnover in their own red zone.
I was on the treadmill pumping my fist. I'm like, yes, finally something worked out.
They got the turnover, and then what does Marv? I'll just keep my job because my owner's the cheapest fucker in football.
Yeah, but they made the playoffs the last 2 years.
Yeah, and how many playoff wins does Marv Lewis have in his career?
Marlon, I don't care.
0.
I don't care.
He is Norv Turner and Marty Schottenheimer blended together in blackface.
Marlon, I don't care. You know how hard it is to make the playoffs in the NFL? It's fucking hard. To do it twice with the restrictions and limitations he has budget-wise is fucking amazing.
Did you see what he did then? 4.5 minutes left. We're going to run the law firm up the middle 3 times. They're going to use 1 timeout, and we're going to take 40 seconds off the clock and punt it to them. That is not leadership. Well, because of Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis making an absolutely fucking insane run with no blocking for 7 yards and a first down.
But that's what you need to do. You can't. I'll give you an example. You don't want me talking about the Titans yet, but in the game yesterday, they got the ball back with 4 minutes left and took exactly about 45 seconds off the fucking clock. Or no, it was about 5 minutes left. They took about 1.5 minutes off the clock and got they didn't even force Houston to take a fucking timeout.
Why? Because they threw the ball?
Threw the ball on 3rd down.
Okay, well, let's do the comparison. Let's go to the Titans game. Anyway, Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis on that 3rd down on 6 to make a first down. It still wasn't secure, but that took another 2.5 minutes off the clock,
and the
which
penalty.
is
the penalty, that 15-yarder on Woodley.
Oh, and by the way, Mike Carey had been calling this like it was a Steelers home game. And we've talked about Steelers rules versus everybody else's rules. Yeah. And I believe it was 11-2 penalties tonight.
I was thinking that at the end of the first half.
Close to 100 yards versus 2 for 14. There was one play where I believe it was Woodley as well, grabbed Dalton by the helmet and tried to rip him down. And that's not a flag?
Well, I couldn't believe at the end of the first half Pittsburgh didn't have a penalty.
And Mike Carey is the worst of the suck Rooney's dick Pittsburgh referees. He's terrible. How that guy gets a game.
He'll be doing the Super Bowl again.
Oh, almost certainly. You know, and what kind of security check? Let's face it. Like, you know, he's a Pointer brother. His sisters were so deep into cocaine they could have swam in it, for fuck's sake.
A Pointer brother. Okay.
So, let's do the comparison here of how Cincy did manage to finish out the game.
Well, okay. Here's the problem in the NFL today with going to the passing offenses. No lead is safe because nobody can run out the fucking clock.
And that's where the law firm is awesome.
But the offensive lines aren't designed to run block anymore. They're designed to pass block. And they try and hit you when you don't expect them to run with a run. Now, it's more surprise run than surprise pass plays now. So when you get, as Tennessee was, 5 minutes left and you get the ball back at your own 35 and you can't run off 2 first downs and the game's over. 2 and the game's over.
And functionally over if they get 1.
But, okay, they have one of the best outside runners in football. And they ran him up the middle on first down for half a yard gain. Then, in their infinite wisdom, they run Jackie fucking Battle. Same play right into the ass end of the center for another half yard.
Okay, now why are you paying Sean Green all this money?
He's hurt. He was inactive.
Oh, okay.
Or he would have been in instead of Battle.
My mistake.
No, but that's a valid question. He was hurt. Now, third down, when you know that if you give them the ball back, they have a chance to come back and tie it. They run a receiver screen where he's 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage that goes incomplete. So chances are...
Well, that's got to be your quarterback.
No. Because the drive before that, he went 99 yards, 7 of 8 passing for 80 yards for a touchdown that gave them the lead. Then we had an interception for a touchdown on the Texans' next drive, which made it 24-16. Then they took the ball out of his hands on third down. He could be good. They're doing.
So this is the anti-diva quarterback. They refuse to. Let him succeed.
No, we had a quarterback his nickname in college was Air. Steve McNair.
I've heard of him.
They wouldn't let him throw the ball in Tennessee. They're doing the same exact thing with Locker. Manage the game, and now we want you to pull it out for us.
Okay, so you're enraged because Tennessee ran 3
with no creativity,
ineffectual running plays. Since he did the same thing, the only difference was that Ben Jarvis Green Ellis.
No, but he had a crease.
He had a tiny crease. He took that for an extra 5.
No, I know.
I was watching it with Shelley, and I just thought, oh, fuck, we are fucked. And she just said, he's got it. And this was like 4 yards before he had it. Because he got his left shoulder underneath against the tackle. It was a beautiful play.
No, I know. I'm not arguing that. But he had a crease. When those 2 Titans runs, they collapsed the line at the line of scrimmage. Like, there wasn't a crease, there wasn't a seam, there wasn't a fucking sliver of daylight. Now, when you don't give the quarterback, like, at least try for the first down, even if it goes incomplete.
Well, yeah, because what are you saving? 1 timeout. Timeouts are overvalued.
But it was incomplete anyway. The screen
was
incomplete.
And that's Though
At
this
least go
year,
for a first down.
defenses, by the way, this year, at least in these first 2 weeks, are playing the screen 10 times better than they did last year.
Well,
You know, there was that period of the Niners in the late 80s, and then the Pack did it under Favre, where the screen was dominant, and then defenses, they managed to let people stay home, and I think this is part of a result of the whole cutback lane, zone blocking run game. But screens are not as effective as they used to be.
yeah, but teams don't know how to run them. The Eagles ran screens like a bitch. But I don't know if it's lack of talent on the offensive line. They don't know how to execute them.
When was the last time you saw a good pull block?
There's not many. Well, that's what I'm Marlon,
Yeah. I'm agreeing.
There's no creativity. The creativity is going to the offensive coordinators or the head coaches who are supposed fucking geniuses.
Like Sean Payton.
There's nothing. Their creativity is down the field. We're going to create mismatches down the field. You have Darren Sproles. Why is he not screens? Chris Johnson, like I said, one of the best open field runners in the NFL, didn't get a fucking screen pass for the second straight week.
Well, let's talk about Chris Johnson here briefly, in that why he doesn't get more screen passes and more swing out passes.
Sweeps. They used to run sweeps.
Swing out passes.
But even a sweep. Sweeps.
Look at what LaDainian Tomlinson used to do with the swing out pass.
Well, this might be the other reason, though, is because the fucking defenses are blitzing like a mad mother every other play.
And that's why you defeat the swing out. That's how you defeat. That's what a swing out pass is designed to defeat.
I know.
He fakes his block, takes the rub, steps 2 yards in front of the line of scrimmage, catches it, and then all of a sudden you've got this insanely talented individual in space.
The Titans don't even run Johnson outside much anymore. There's not a sweep to be had.
That 2,000-yard season, which was what? 25 and change when you added in his passes?
Yeah.
What's his best pass number since that year?
Oh, it's brutal.
160? 180?
I'm going to the stats right. It's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. They don't throw to him at all.
And I don't understand it, because I think he proved in that year that he could catch the ball. And then we heard, like, in Fisher's last or second last year, well, we just don't think he's very good catching the ball. Why? Why would you say that?
I don't.
All evidence says to the contrary. And you don't even have to be that good, because they're lob passes. It's not like you're asking him to be a wideout, work over the middle, and catch a laser beam. What I'm talking about are the swing out passes.
He's got 1,659 yards for his career.
And I bet you 600 of those were in the first, and then after that, 200-300. Sorry, it seems like you're underutilizing a weapon.
503 yards. He's got one catch for a yard this year.
Well, you wouldn't want to put him in space.
His 2,000-yard season in 2009, 503 yards, averaged 10 yards a reception.
That sounds good to me.
Targeted 71 times.
Is my math wrong, or is 10 yards a reception kind of a first down?
71 targets. He was only targeted 49 last year.
49. 49 in 16 games. Three times he even tried to throw him the ball.
They targeted him 79 times in 2011.
Because Tennessee has such a great wideout core?
Well, I don't even know why they have Kenny Britt on the field. The way they use Locker, you don't even need receivers. Just put 4 tight ends out there and block.
Well,
No,
I know, but seriously, okay, so you have no wideouts of note.
well, we do. Marlon, we do. Britt's a good wide. You know he is. Britt's good. Nate Washington's good. They're good. I'm not saying they're great. They're good. With the brand a different offense. Munchak is just Jeff Fisher light. He's Jeff Fisher 2.0. He ran the same fucking game plan as Fisher.
Yeah.
That game was ours to lose, and we fucking lost it.
So let's look at this realistically. Houston should be 0-2.
Yes. They're not that good.
No, they're not. Because, hey, I'm excited about my Chargers win. Chargers aren't very good.
You know how many?
I'm not gonna be. I'm not fanboy. You know, I'm not that way. Houston shouldn't have been in that game. No. They caught giant momentum on a play that the NFL later apologized for. They got a tremendous interception by a known steroid abuser.
Oh, I got to talk about that too. Do you think Pittsburgh's homers? You should have listened to the announcing in that Titans game. It was like J.J. Watt and Brian Cushing were the only 2 players on defense, or on the field for that matter, when the Titans had the ball.
My rookie tackle, Fluker, owned Watt. Watt could not achieve penetration past a yard. And then Watt, because he is a fucking great player, realized that and just started to give a little push, wait for Rivers to throw and bat it down. I give Watt credit for that, but you know what? My rookie right tackle owned his fucking white roided up ass.
Well, he had two sacks against the Titans. Cushing had 1. But our defense was better than Houston's. No, I'm not saying that as a homer. The field position we were in, because of our lack of faith in the offense, was Leckler, the punter for Houston, pinned us inside the 10 3 times. And we went 3 and out, I think, on all of those. So they had field position on us the whole game.
And how did the Raiders let Leckler go?
I don't know.
Like it must just be money, because
well, they got $40 million in cap space to guys that aren't on the team, so it was definitely money. But he's the best punter in football
by far, and has been for 8-9 years. And I don't think he's declining. He's a punter, for God's sake.
But that
you do this for another decade.
That Texans team, as it's built right now, they are winning the AFC. Last year, I thought they had the most talent to win the AFC. They're not even going to be close this year. And after the way Tennessee played 2 games on the road, they should be 2-0 going home. I was I wasn't too excited about their team because I don't know if they were just not showing teams anything in the preseason because they were still one of the worst defenses in the preseason. This could be a top 5 defense right now. If we get anything out of the offense, we could go to the playoffs.
Okay, I want to switch that around and talk a little about my Chargers.
Yes.
If that's cool.
No. This is an all Titans podcast tonight because your team won and I'm pissed off. So, no, I'm just kidding.
You know what? Rivers in a very West Coast situation. It's good. Now that it's not going to take 4 seconds for the pass plays to develop downfield, because Norv Turner always wanted to air it out, Rivers looks good. I mean, the one interception he's thrown, it was a bad pick, but it also took a superhuman defensive play to do it. It came at a bad time, and people are going, oh, there's Rivers again. He sliced and diced, admittedly a weak Philadelphia defense. But what was it? It was underneath. It was swing outs. It was take 11 yards at a time. This will probably curse him based on my superstitions, but you know what? In this McCoy offense, there's a lot of hope for the Chargers on out. I still think their D is weak. They gave up 30 and 31. Not good, but I was ready to put a stake through Rivers' heart. I'm pulling back the hammer,
No, I thought he looked great in the first half against Houston and most of the third quarter.
Yeah, he threw a bunch of balls into the ground, and when he starts thinking, just don't let him think. And I think McCoy understands that. You take 2 looks, and you throw the ball.
Well, and that's the West Coast offense.
Yeah, and that's what this is. I don't know what McCoy calls his version, because all these coaches seem to want to, give it their own name. But the Chargers have no receiving talent to speak of. They just have a bunch of journeymen running around out there. And one of them's going to get open, and he's going to hit him because he's releasing the ball in about 1.75 fucking seconds. And he always had a good release, and this plays to him. Norv Turner may have destroyed his career.
Well, can I ask a question? Just one devil's advocate question. How many other receivers are going to get carried off on the hardboard with this offense? That's a valid question.
You don't laugh about the hardboard, though, man.
No, but that's a valid
was crossing
question.
the line.
Crossing the line. It's a valid question. They talk about it all the time, guys. Quarterbacks getting receivers killed. Is that a possibility? The way they're doing the crossing stuff.
No, I haven't seen him. Yeah,
I didn't see the play.
And he did not lay it out high. What happened was Floyd caught the ball, took his 2 steps, and then he ducked into the body. No, it had nothing to do with the throw. Nothing.
Okay, no, well, it wasn't the throw. I was thinking the offensive concept, because the West Coast is a lot of short slants and stuff, and I was wondering if it was over the middle and he got lit up.
No, he's Malcolm Floyd. No, it wasn't that at all. If he turns his shoulder instead of turtling on the play, he's probably fine. No, I don't see any validity to that statement at all.
Okay. Just a question. I didn't see the hit, so I was just curious.
Yeah.
If that was a possibility of guys getting lit up.
He caught it. He bent his head down. The safety was coming across. Took the head in the chest. And frankly, Malcolm Floyd is built like a deer. He's going to get hurt all the time. Eddie Royal talking fantasy if anyone's interested. I don't know. It certainly isn't going to be 5 touchdowns in 2 games ever again in his career. But they're starting to use him like Wes Welker.
Yeah, they're going to be interested. I think we're both, because the way we talked about our teams before the season, we're both in a way better headspace than we were at the start of the season.
Well, yeah, and what really pleased me, and maybe you're right, Houston's defense isn't very good, but now that it's 2 steps, get the ball out, suddenly the Chargers O-line doesn't look like the traffic pylons I thought they were.
Well, but you can't expect that. Would be like when you're hanging on to the ball too much as a quarterback. It's like when the pass rush doesn't get any pressure and the receivers can run around for 5 seconds. If you're getting pressure right away or you're not releasing the ball, If the routes are taking too long, it's the same thing. Kurt Warner was always getting rocked. When the plays take too long to
Yeah, it's
develop,
Mike Martz.
your quarterback's vulnerable.
North Turner is like Mike Martz, and I pray for Brandon Whedon,
Well,
because
he
that
should probably
design,
be on the
unless you
bench.
have your tight end out there as a safety valve, there are no short receivers, and defenses know that this is going to be a 5.5-second play, and they're just teeing off. It's early, but I'm starting to think we might be seeing the resurgence of Rivers here.
Well, that's good.
And the very fact that they ran a ball control, time-consuming offense at will against the Eagles, again, I know, terrible defense, but on a short week, coast to coast, and go in there and fuck up Chip Kelly. Man, food tasted good.
See, but
on
here's
Sunday.
the thing. Here's the thing. With you said fuck Chip Kelly, but I don't think Chip Kelly got fucked up. His offense has proven they can put up points. They put up 60-some in 2 games. That's what he was brought in to do. If they can get any semblance of a defense, they're going to be okay.
Yeah, but give me my day of fuck Chip Kelly.
No. Marlon, I agree. They did a great job. I'm not taking anything away from San Diego, but what he is known for is his offense, and they put up about 800 yards in 2 games.
Well, and
his offense isn't the problem.
Yeah, how you beat that team though is you shorten the game. Time of possession was crazy for the Chargers.
Yeah, but that's on the defense. It's not because the offense was scoring too quick. They weren't. Yeah, you're going to get.
No, there were 2 scores were like 19 seconds.
Yeah, but you're going to get bombs in games. Most teams try and throw deep. If you hit one, it's going to be a quick turnaround.
I'm not writing him off, but
the offense works.
And
is all I'll say.
The very fact that he's in the league, I think, is good because now suddenly ball control is a factor again.
But give him another year to get a defense in shape, because they're going to know what they need next year for how the defense has got to be in shape and what guys you need to rotate in and out. But
I will also point out his time management.
Well, that's every
was
coach.
Straight out of Andy Reid.
That's every coach.
Like in Philly, is there not some rich Philadelphia person who can send every coach a watch? A stopwatch and just a chart?
Look at Tomlin.
Hey.
Tomlin should have screwed us on our cover tonight if he knew what the fuck he was doing. With 23 seconds left.
Taking the times over the 2? Yeah.
Well, take the field goal and try for the onside kick. You have no chance if you don't score. At least you have a chance if you kick the field goal there.
Yeah, and percentages say it, and I actually said it to Shelley when we were watching. I'm just going, actually, that's the higher percentage play. But no coach ever does it.
But you need 2 scorers.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It's the higher percentage play.
At least you get the onside kick, a chance at the onside kick if you kick the field goal.
With some time to actually run plays instead of a potential Hail Mary.
Yeah,
you're right. It's the higher percentage play.
Now, I'm glad he didn't. But all coaches, I don't know what the mental block on this is. They're all bad.
Well, and let's talk about, a hero boy. When San Francisco kicked that field goal, down 12-0, I knew it was over. That's all there was to it. I just thought, you fucking pussy.
Well, what happened there? I didn't watch. Once the delay came, I kind of lost interest in it.
Okay.
When it was
well,
off
and I had a
hour.
Breaking Bad break, but basically, Seattle had been dominating. They're up 12. San Fran puts together their only half-assed drive that had been seen thus far. They got down to about the 11. It was 4th and short, very short field goal unit. And I'm just like, so what? In the final 17 minutes here, you're suddenly going to explode for points?
In that
was
environment,
the avoid the shutout. This is
Yeah.
this is a huge Easterbrook point from TMQ. It's like, I just don't want a shutout on my record.
well, it's every
Fucking pussy.
No, but Marlon, it's every decision a coach makes is based on the second guessing they're going to have to answer to in the press conference.
Oh, I know. But supposedly Harbaugh was above that. He's so aggressive. He's a crazy man. He just does all this. No, he's just another pussy.
No, but here's what happened in the Tennessee game. Let's not have Jake Locker throw a pick, and then I have to answer for why'd you let a second-year starter who's only played basically the equivalent of a season in 3 years throw a ball in that situation. You know what my answer is? I was trying to win the fucking game.
Yeah.
And I knew another first down gets us that much closer than giving them the ball with 3 minutes left at home.
Ron
and
Rivera.
Our defense has been on the field for fucking... The way that game ended, their defense was off the field for about a minute. They went 3 and out, punted, gave up a touchdown, and a 2-point conversion where they should have had a fucking hold on Pollard, who would have stopped fucking Foster from getting in. But of course, that wasn't called at the goal line. And they get the ball back, 3 and out. Didn't force them to use a timeout, on the field for another minute for the field goal, lose the toss. We didn't come off the field for about 40 minutes real time. The defense.
Gutless.
When all you needed was 2 first downs and you run 2 up the middle to the center's ass.
And either Locker's your quarterback or not.
What?
So fucking find out. Give the guy an opportunity to win a goddamn game.
What I was always taught in sports was go down swinging. If you're going to lose the game, go down fucking swinging.
Yep.
They had the game in their hands, needed 2 first downs, and you go down like a pussy. That bugs me more than the loss. I would rather see a pick and give them the ball at the 50 and they score than not even trying to gain yards and just going, well, our defense has played well all day. Well, they were fucking exhausted. We had so many 3 and outs. It was ridiculous. Our defense played so fucking good yesterday. It's a crime that the loss looks like it's on them for giving up those last 2 touchdowns. They didn't deserve it. We had 3 and outs. We gave up a safety again. How many teams have given up a safety 2 weeks in a row?
There was one other one this week.
Jacksonville?
Maybe Jacksonville, or just Seattle scores a safety every week.
No, Tennessee gave up a safety again.
Okay, yeah. No, I was noticing the odd.
It's weird, yes. But this is the other thing in the rules. If a touchdown, the ball just has to cross the front edge of the goal line to be considered a touchdown. Does it not work the same way on a safety? I don't know. Because the ball was, the nose, that 3/4 of the football was on the goal line, across the goal line when his knee went down. And they reviewed it and still gave him the safety.
Well, that's an interesting point, because it seems like it should be exactly the same way.
Break the plane.
Though you need the leading edge of the line, right? It's the line closest to the field of play. If you break that, you should be out of the end zone.
No, you didn't break that. That's what I mean. Why is it one way going into the end zone once you break that plane? It doesn't matter if the tip gets an inch over.
No, I disagree with you on this, because it's always the leading edge on the play field.
Marlon, when you score a touchdown, it just has to break the front edge of the goal line.
I know. So the front edge is the active line, and it will always be the active line.
Then why isn't it the same coming the other way?
Because teams would fatten up the line or thin down the line, whatever works. You make one edge of that line the active line. You can't have it being both edges of the line. If it's the front edge of the line for going in, it's the front edge, the playing field edge, going out.
Fucking brutal. Brutal.
All right, guys. I think we've hit the wall here.
All right. So if you want to check out our podcast, look for us on iTunes, Offensive Lines, or Stitcher.com, Offensive Lines. We've got links to those on our website. We're also on Podcast Blaster, and there's another one, and I can't remember
Stitcher.
it right now. No, I said Stitcher.
Okay.
There's another offshoot. It's a smaller brand. All the links are on our website. You can listen to it on the embedded player on our website, or the other places I mentioned, offensivelines.ca. Follow us on Twitter at Offensive Lines or Facebook.com/offensivelines. And if you'd like to contact us, you can email us at offensivelines@shaw.ca. I'm Boyd.
I'm Marlon, and I just want to say, tomorrow, nothing but picks from minute 1.
Degenerate fucking gambler.